July 6th, day 42. The last few days, last 3 days, it's our third day I think, in these conditions. The wave after wave of low pressure fronts gave way to a high pressure area. We have light winds which backed around to the south during the night, and but we're south wind is good. We're able to maintain our proper course towards Cape Flattery, sailing east-northeast at the moment. We have still over 600 miles to go, but we're sailing on a rumline course for Cape Flattery according to the GPS, making about 4 knots with the full main up. And of course we can't run a jib, but there you go. And you know, generally making progress, though not a whole lot. It's taken us 3 days to go the last 100 miles, and we still have 600 miles to go. Ran the engine this morning for an hour and 40 minutes. Ran the water maker at the same time, and I'm hoping we got our batteries fully charged now, so we don't have to worry about that. Running the engine yesterday for an hour did not quite fully charge the house bank, and we're not getting near enough sun for the solar panels to be much help. So there you have that. We're still eating very well. In fact, last night we had a delightful supper of salmon with sun-dried tomatoes and artichoke hearts over tiny shell pasta, which was very good. And for dessert we had chocolate fresh baked, well not baked, but chocolate chip muffin cookie griddle cake things that were very, very good. In fact, they were so good we made up a second batch and ate those last night too. So food's not a problem. We're in high spirits. The water maker is keeping us well supplied with fresh water, and although our stereo has now given up the ghost completely, stereo doesn't work, we're still in good spirits. We have we're reading to each other and learning as we go along. Laura's learning more about navigation, and we're both learning some ancient history, and we're reading the Bible and reading Plutarch, and what else we Plutarch, yeah. Anyway, we've got some pretty, you know, unusual books aboard, but that's what we're studying at the moment. And every day that goes by, we get a little bit better at handling the boat, dealing with the minor adversities that come our way, and still surrounded with jellyfish. I mean, first thing in the morning, when it got light out, I looked out and there was just rafts of them everywhere. They've thinned out some now, but they're still out there all around us, millions of them, and have been for weeks now. It's the strangest dang thing I've ever seen. Anyway, that's the way it is. July 6th, 2007, day 42. And I'm hoping it will be, you know, maybe 6, 8, 10 days, you know, but it has the potential to be another 3 weeks. Hey there. July 7th, day 43. Well, as you may be able to tell, we had a little excitement this morning. Yesterday, beautiful day. It was warm, there was a lot of sunshine, not entirely sunny of course, but there was a lot of sunshine. Light winds, calm seas. We opened the hatches, aired out the boat, got pretty well dried out. Well, got some of the moisture off anyway. And enjoyed a nice sail all day long until late afternoon. Late afternoon, kind of suddenly the wind picked up and backed into the south, and the barometer just dropped, just sank a lot. And before we knew it, it was dark, and the late in the afternoon, the wind backed into the south more, increasing rapidly in strength. The waves got up and the barometer sank all at once between 5:30 and 7 o'clock. On the way out the companionway, put on my foul weather gear, I had my goat roper hat on, and a sudden wave picked us up and threw us, and I went head first into the cabin trunk above the stove and opened up this gash on my head. Didn't notice it though. Rang my bell pretty good, but this log is going to be all chopped up because it's going to require a lot of editing. We were blessed with mild conditions today, so I feel pretty good. To get that to steer fry long enough for me to put this away. There we go. Okay. So what's new? Today is July 8th. That makes it day 44. Day 44. Well, yesterday, of course, we had some excitement. I slammed my head into the inside of the cabin trunk and opened a gash on my forehead. And then when I made it outside, I discovered that the pin holding the boom to the gooseneck had worked its way out halfway and was in danger of falling out. That could have been a real problem for us, but you know, me being an old Harley rider, I know the key to this sort of thing. I grabbed a big hammer out of my tool bag and went up there and fixed it to beat it back into submission. So that's all fine now.
It was a rubber mallet.
It was a rubber mallet, yeah, okay. Wouldn't have used a rubber mallet on a Harley, but you know, the Vega is a little more genteel, so I used a rubber mallet. Note to self, bring extra pins and safety wire next time. The pin was a self-locking pin, by the way, so it shouldn't have come loose, but it did. So we're going to have to investigate that. We are now approximately 500 miles from Cape Flattery. Very good. Yesterday the conditions got very boisterous throughout the day, and at the end of the day we reefed her down and set the tiller to steer as close to our course as we could get, which was put us on a due north course, which is good because we're a little south of our actual course right at the moment. We need to make up a little northing. And so we had a good day, made good progress, and Laura made us a mystery meal in the dark last night. It was pretty good. Had the required ingredients: curry powder, corn chowder, and yams, I think. Oh, what else do we have in there? Pine nuts. Noble experiment. Tasted pretty good. We're going to probably have some more for lunch today because there's leftovers. We're in high spirits, or at least I am, because...
and we had chocolate chip cookies last night.
We had what last night?
Chocolate chip cookies.
Oh yeah, chocolate chip cookies. Well, they're kind of chocolate chip cookies. They're more like chocolate chip griddle cakes, but they were excellent. So excellent, in fact, we had 2 batches of them, if I remember right. But these are the things that make a trip like this, you know, bearable. You know, food, good food, and plenty of it. Anyway, we're counting down the miles, getting closer to our destination. Good Lord willing, no more gear will break on us, and we won't have any more bad weather. We've been having uncomfortable weather far too often on this trip, so I'm hoping that it will stay mild for the rest of the way in, and I hope that we'll be blessed with some clear weather when we reach Cape Flattery, because I prefer to be able to see where I'm going, even though we have a moving map GPS and good charts, and even though there's traffic control, radio traffic control for the area, I would be much more comfortable if I can see what's going on. So they get a lot of fog there. but I'm hoping that there won't be fog when we arrive. July 9th, day 45. Never thought it would take this long. And we're still 480 odd miles away from our destination, or from landfall actually, which puts us still over 500 miles from Port Angeles. So, the last couple of days we've had very light winds. Today is very light wind. We're headed into a fog bank with thin overcast above. There's a little bit of blue sky trying to peek through. You can tell that the sun is up there, but it's not showing its face. We're moving at maybe 1 knot right now. We haven't shaken out the reefs yet. It's still early. But on course towards our destination, moving at a leisurely stroll pace. In good spirits, of course, and eating well. We had what were the oatmeal walnut cranberry pancakes this morning. Oh, to die for. They were great. But you can cook stuff like that when the sea is this calm. Yep, sure can. And I don't remember what we had for dinner last night. What did we have for dinner last night, honey?
Onions and carrots.
Oh yeah. We had onions and carrots and garlic with the veggie burger stuff. That was great. That was good. It was a good experiment. We have, as I've said many times, been eating well, which is important. Keep the crew in good spirits and good health. Boat's holding up. We haven't had any failures. We haven't had any heavy weather for a couple days since that pin came out of the boom gooseneck. Nothing else has gone wrong. So, another 2-3 weeks we should get there at the rate we're going now. We covered, let's see, what was it? About 40 miles. About 40 miles yesterday, from noon yesterday till this morning when we turned on the GPS. And hoping to get another 10 miles before noon. So, at any rate, we're moving towards our destination. See no reason why we shouldn't get there. It's just taken longer than we expected, Mom. Sorry about that. But we will get there. And as soon as we do, we'll call. And we'll send emails out to all our friends, let them know we arrived. Because I know there's people worried about us. But we're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's good. VHF. Oh, yeah, that's right. Just turned on been turning on the VHF once a day for the last few days, and this morning we picked up the weather broadcast on VHF, and unfortunately it was for Northern California. But the good thing is they were talking about winds gusting to 45 knots. And big seas, so I'm glad we're not down there within that area of that weather forecast. I don't know why we're not getting Cape Flattery, because we're a lot closer to Cape Flattery than we are to Cape Mendocino. But there you go. We got the weather for Northern California area. We'd like to know what's going on up around Cape Flattery area, but we've crossed 3,000 miles worth of ocean already and just been dealing with it with no weather forecast at all. So. It'll be nice just to hear that voice letting us know we're reaching closer to our destination, and I don't know what we'll do if they'll tell us there's small craft warnings. But, there we are. We'll deal with it. That's our log for today, July 9th, day 45. Our overdue day. Well, overdue, I don't know. Overdue is a little bit harsh, I think. We were expecting to be there by now, though. Cheers.
So Chuck, the jellyfish are beating us this morning?
Yeah, it's close. It's real close. You know, those little guys, you know, they're born to sail. And so
Look at this.
I think the really, you know, they thinned out. And you can see the really fast ones out here are actually keeping right along up with us. And I think some of them are actually going faster over here. These ones that are in the lee of the boat over here, I think they're actually moving ahead. Well, they're certainly keeping pace. The ones on the windward side don't seem to be doing as well.
No.
As you can see, they've thinned out. They're not nearly like they were, you know, a couple days ago in the big rafts of jellyfish where they were competing quite fiercely. For what, I don't know.
There it is. One hazy day.
A hazy day, hazy summer day.
With no wind.
Well, no, it doesn't look like there's any wind at all right at the moment.
So what's on the agenda for today?
Well, today we're going to go sailing if we get some wind. I think we'll shake out the reef and try to catch some. The reason it's reefed, by the way, in these conditions is to cut down on the flogging. Small sail flogs less than a big sail when there's no wind at all. And as you can see, it's flogging back and forth a little bit. I've got it a little looser than we had last night, but we reefed down mainly to keep it from beating to death. And of course, just in case, because we've been caught a couple of times when we wish we had reefed it down and didn't. So I guess what we're going to do this afternoon, is shake out the reef and try to catch some wind and maybe make 10-15 mile progress a day towards our goal. So that's what we have in mind. Another thing I'm considering is resetting our watches because we're still on Hawaii Standard Time, and obviously there's a big difference. Seattle is 3 hours later. The West Coast is 3 hours later than Hawaii time, and so that's probably why we're seeing the daylight beginning at 2:30 a.m. But still, it stays light until 8:30 or 9 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. So it's a lot of daylight. So we're considering resetting our ship's time to match the local time better. And but we're still trying to keep track of our 24-hour progress. So our noon time is Hawaii Standard Time, noon position. Not noon as it is right now. It would be 12:30 local time, and it is 09:30 Hawaiian time. And that's about it. What?
Anything particular you want for lunch?
Anything particular for lunch? Didn't we save something extra for lunch? Oh! Or is that for supper?
Either or.
Doesn't matter, huh? Well, we've got extra fake meat to use in our spaghetti sauce. We have fake bolognese, tofu bolognese. I don't even know what that stuff is made of, but the veggie burger stuff that we fried up last night and put that in our spaghetti sauce. We can have that for lunch, or we could have chili for lunch, or we can have all sorts of things. We have lots of food.
We had popcorn last night too.
We had popcorn. That's right. We had popcorn and mochi crunch last night. We're in no danger of running out of food. No danger at all of running out of food. However, we are running low on treats. That was the last of the popcorn, wasn't it? And the last of the mochi crunch, wasn't it? And we put away the last of the Lihing Mui mango the other day. Oh, that's a loss. And of course the chocolate 2 weeks ago. So we're running low on treats. Definitely running low on treats, but we have no danger of running low on food. We're good on the food. And the water maker's still working fine. So, we have what we need. But it sure would be nice to have just a little bit little bit more mango. Oh, and the fresh fruit. Yeah. I could die for an apple right now. You know, that stuff you expect to go early. What is it? Yeah, we've gone through a lot of our treats. I think we still have some stuff left though, don't we? Yeah, we still have some. And of course the liquor locker is blocked, so we haven't been able to get into the booze. Which is, you know, that's okay, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, it can stay closed until we reach port. I can live without the wine and the bottle of Jack Daniels that my friend gave us before we left the dock. Those Navy guys, I tell you. So, oh, we're out of crackers too. We're out of soda crackers. Yeah, Navy guys made me think of the soda crackers.
Yeah, we're down to 1 lamp.
And we're down to 1 lamp and only half of a reservoir of that. So we're almost out of lamp oil. We'll make sure we bring more next time because those lamps turned out to be more important than we imagined. And it's going to be real, it's just not going to be as cheerful and warm and nice in the cabin at night without our oil lamps. And we've been conserving as much as possible, but it would be real nice to be able to burn both of them as long as we want in the evening. It help keep us warm and the light is just more cheerful. So, yeah, that would be nice. That would be real nice. Why don't you let me take pictures of you while you talk? Hey Laura, what you doing?
Hello. I'm just finished making us a cup of coffee. I'm going to heat up some more water to put hot water to put in the thermos. So I can get the stove stashed and put away.
Have you shown everybody our pump jug with for the hot water that we do every day?
I think we do have pictures of that. But
well, just in case, I'm gonna swing in here and show everybody. Where is it? There it is, right there.
Yeah, our little
container
thermos
for hot water. It's a coffee urn, but you know, we just fill it up with hot water. That way, you can make a cup of noodles, which we ran out of. Oh, we have one more, and you know, our hot cocoa, which we have 1 pack left. We're saving that.
The hot cocoa we're saving till we're just putting into Cape Flattery. We're hoping it'll be sometime early morning when we hit Cape Flattery rather than afternoon or late afternoon. And I will be sure and have a nice hot cup of water ready and prepared so that we can sip back that last cup of hot cocoa. Which is going to be really good. Yeah, the hot cocoa, I bought a big old box of it. I never in a million years dreamed we'd go through that much, but it turned out the hot cocoa was a bit more important than I had ever thought it would be. I didn't think Chuck would drink hot cocoa.
Well, you know, the coffee situation was kind of...
Yeah. But actually, next time we head out, I'm going to do the hot cocoa with instant coffee. Hot cocoa with a scoop of instant coffee, and it is really good. So
Where did you learn that trick?
that was from Endeavor. That was out of desperation for wanting a little bit of coffee, but they had plenty of hot cocoa, plenty of hot water, so of course I fudged stuff a little bit and made it up. But anyway, so we had our pancake breakfast this morning, that was really good. That was oatmeal pancakes with cranberry jelly on top, and sprinkled some walnuts on top with some maple syrup over that. That was an inspiration. We haven't done that before, so that was. I think that'll be our new treat for pancakes, besides the blueberry pancakes, which I really like those too. But yeah, actually meals. I'm having fun making all of our meals, and Chuck's been a big help. Helping me think stuff up. And that's what we do during the day, is sit and think stuff up what we're going to make for breakfast and lunch and dinner.
Oh, all right, what can we make with fried onions and curry powder?
This is what we got. What are we going to make with it? So,
fried onions, curry powder, and corn chowder, and you know, whatever else we got in a can to put in it.
Whatever we else have in a can. Actually, I haven't really been doing that much cooking on this trip. It's been more like mixing and matching. A lot of canned stuff, a lot of dehydrated stuff, mixes, soup mixes, and so forth.
Those backpacking meals, freeze-dried backpacker meals turned out to be a pretty good deal, huh?
Yeah, well, those were were necessary during our harsher weather when you didn't really want to even break the stove out because it was so rough. So that's what the urn is for. It's perfect. You keep hot water in there, and when the time comes, you just throw the backpacking meals. You can actually eat them out of the foil, but that's a little too primitive for me. So put them in our pot with the locking lid, and we'll just eat out. We've been sharing a lot of meals out of our pot, which I had never anticipated, but the bowls are so cold that if you put the hot meal in the bowl, it gets cold really quickly. So hadn't thought of that.
Yep, just take it off the stove in the pan.
Yeah, just
a couple of spoons.
A couple of spoons. It's been working out really well. Actually, I've gotten to the point where I really enjoy just sharing a meal with Chuck out of the pot on the couch. So, hoping we get a little bit more wind today, and we can get a few more miles in. This is our overdue day for my mother. We told her 30 to 45 days, and this is the 45th day. And I know my mother was starting to worry about day 5 anyway, but at 45 days, I know she's going to be getting quite concerned.
45 days, we're still almost 500 miles out.
We're 480 miles.
481 miles.
480, that extra 20 miles is important.
It is, because that might be a day's worth of sailing.
The way the winds have been lately, 20 miles is pretty important. I didn't get up on deck and shave the reefs out this morning simply because with more sail up, the tends to flog and worse and be quite a bit louder than this little poof poof we've got. So till the wind picks up, I think we're just going to leave it reefed for now. Just hanging out, just doing some reading some pretty interesting stuff. We've gotten a couple of philosophical books. We've got
Plutarch on Sparta.
Penguin Classic. Chuck, did you ever think I in a million years would read that?
Never. This is the lady who goes through trashy romance novels,
romance novels,
2 or 3 of them a week, but will not read nonfiction at all.
Yeah.
And on this trip, she's been reading. What have you been reading?
I've read Plutarch, and we have one nonfiction.
One fiction.
One fiction. I'm sorry.
Where'd you go?
And of course our world cruising routes and all of our cruising and sailing books.
We've gone through Charlie's charts and the world cruising routes.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of research
and that sort of stuff.
Reading when we can.
Poring over charts. And a lot of that.
Actually, more poring over what can we do when we get there.
Yeah.
Who's got shower facilities?
Yeah.
Who has laundry? Who has a restaurant close by where we can get a hot meal?
Well, we know most of it.
Actually, the hot meal thing isn't.
Hot meal thing isn't that big of a deal. It's the hot shower part.
It's the hot shower part. I am sorely in some desperate needs to wash my hair, says Chuck. Of course, we haven't had a shower or a bath for.
We were at latitude 30, I think, when we
while.
did that last. Last time it was warm enough to scoop a bucket of seawater and dump it over ourselves.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
We've been.
Not that we haven't been cleaning ourselves, mind you.
Using
handy wipes. You keep disappearing. There we go. Handy wipes.
Wet ones.
Wet ones.
These are. We had the yellow ones first. I bought 2 of these. I should have gotten 4.
You should have gotten 6.
Well.
So we're running low on those too.
Yeah, but these things are great. Anytime you're doing any long distance cruising, that is definitely the way to go.
When it's cold and you can't jump overboard and go for a swim. Of course, if we had gone south like I wanted to go, we'd have been in Tahiti 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we would have been in Tahiti, but...
Laura would be working on her tan.
Oh well. But,
so would I. I probably wouldn't have lost so much weight either.
Yeah. Chuck has lost, we're figuring close to 15 or 20 pounds during this trip. Being, of course, sick for the first 20... You say 26, I say 21. We'll have to look at that.
Well, it was 26th day when the last time that I got really sick.
Down, but you can't throw up all the time like that, not expect to lose some weight.
Yeah, I know.
So Chuck's lost quite a bit of weight. I have no idea if I've maintained or not. It's been a long time since I've gotten a chance to have a look.
No full-length mirror on the boat. No
full-length
scale.
mirror, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I know I was in pretty good shape when we left because of the tri, but
The try what?
the Honolulu triathlon.
Yeah.
I know I was in good shape when we left. We only left a week after that, so we'll see when we get in. Actually, I'm more interested to see how we're going to be walking.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
When we get in. We've done, both Chuck and I have done trips, and it's, you get the land thing going, but on this small
And after
of a
20
boat,
days on Endeavor,
yeah, we were walking pretty funny.
we were walking pretty funny, and Endeavor is 97 feet on deck.
And on Spike, it took me about 2 or 3 days to get back to normal, and that was
Spike was 23 days on a 70-footer.
Yes, 60, 70, and we're at 45 days on a 27-foot. I think it's going to take us about a week before we can walk without grabbing onto things.
It's going to be 50 days or more before we actually get in.
Yeah, I'm thinking 52, 53 days at this point. So, wow, who would have thought?
Who would have thought, indeed. Glad we got the water maker.
Glad we got the water maker. That definitely made the difference between this trip being borderline scary and uncomfortable, and absolutely cozy, comfortable, no problems. No worries as far as water. I've been doing two thermoses a day of hot water on top of what we're drinking normally. So that's a luxury. But in this cold weather, if we hadn't been able to do that, it would have been pretty miserable, I think. But we're almost there. Maybe another 10, 12 days. I think I said that 10 or 12 days ago. But 10 or 12 days, 480 something miles. I figure 50 miles a day, at least 10 days. Hopefully we get some wind. If not, it is what it is. And Mom,
yes, the problem is
really,
it's
really
been
sorry that I know you're upset.
the problem with the wind is it's either not enough or way
Or
too much.
Yeah.
I don't want to make 150-mile days when the reefed with the sail reefed down to nothing.
Yeah.
And white knuckles on the tiller. No, we don't want that.
We could do one day of those and then.
No, I don't want any more days of those. I've had enough days of those. It was, we were having.
We had 3 or 4 days of that.
We had more than 3 or 4 days of that.
In a row, though.
In a row, yeah, 3 or 4 days in a row, and we'd have a half a day or 12 hours of very little wind, and then it would come back.
Yeah.
Big waves. It would start with the swells rolling through, and then the big wind would follow, and
Well, it's gotten to the point where we've not reefed at night, and when it was pretty mellow out, it looked just like it does now, except it was getting to be night. But both those times we regretted that. We just flat out made the decision every night we're going to reef. If there's no wind, it makes it easier on the sail for the flogging, and if there is wind, it just makes the boat more comfortable in the evening. And we're adventurous, but not adventurous enough to want to go out on deck at it's light at 2:30 now, but in the dark,
in the rain, with
out
wind
reefing,
blowing and waves breaking over the deck. No, that's not
reefing sail, which we've done on this trip, I think twice now. But that's so. That's our new motto, is just take in sail at night, period. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Shorten sail at dusk every night.
Much happier with the ride doing that. I think that's a wise decision. And I think that's about it.
Okay then.
On course.
On course. Maybe a little bit more north than we had. We drifted a little bit south of our course, so we need to get a little bit farther north. I don't want to arrive at Cape Flattery south, too far south. We need to be right on our waypoint. And in order to do that, we have to get a little bit farther north now. So here we go. Into the fog. going to put those slides back in?
Yes, I'm going to put the slides back in.
Well, I mean, I thought it was too high for you, that's all.
No, I can reach that.
Okay. Make sure you do a good job. This is being recorded for posterity.
Scarf down here, that will keep going.